everyone. How are you all? I hope that everyone is well. I know I haven't been on in a while, and as I mentioned before, I just come on when I really truly feel guided, and it just seems to be few and far between. In general, I think there's so many excellent readers out there, card readers that, just give constant updates on the energies, and I definitely believe that whoever you're guided to listen to and who resonates, sometimes we can put on a YouTube video and you're just saying, no, this doesn't resonate, and you click it off, and it's totally understandable. We're each on a different journey, but yet this is such a collective experience. And I know that I came on YouTube just for the fact that I know I had needed support at different times on this journey. And if I could even share my story or share some of the information or guidance that I received, if it was meant for anyone to hear and to resonate with, then it would just be. So it's definitely been a while. Lots has happened in my journey, as I'm sure for all of you. I see the whole journey as such a roller coaster, so many ups and downs, and there's been times that I just felt so in my power, so exhilarated, so ready to tackle life, and then other times that I felt so low, so broken, so empty, so depressed. Times when I just wanted to lay in bed for days, and I've cried and gone deep into a lot of deep pain, not only through the twin flame experience, but just in life in general. I know that we come to places where we let go and we just feel on top of everything. We feel we are forgiving and letting go of the past. And then for me, it almost feels like I climb up a ladder and then I fall back down. And then I climb up a ladder, maybe a little higher the next time, but then I still fall back down. I'm coming to a new place with all this that I personally haven't faced before, which is I find on this ascension journey, there's a lot of, just a push, to forgive yourself, forgive others, to move on, to vibrate high. But a lot of the healing that can be the deepest comes when we're in those low times, or those times when you're really just painfully opening up old wounds, and it's almost like scraping at the remnants of what was left over and over again, even though you thought you had already processed it all. And I just feel like coming and saying not to be ashamed of that. And I feel like a new place for a lot of the collective is to come into a place of being able to take off that identity or that mask that, oh, I am spiritual, I have it all together, I have it all figured out. Well, I read this self-help book and I went for this healing, therefore I am healed, I am fine. Or even into a place of some of us that are helpers or, do healings for others. It's an image that just because you do it for others, you should be perfect yourself, or maintain an image that you're perfect in your own ways or your own healing. And it's definitely time to come into a vulnerability. And that's what I've been going through, which is coming into a place of really looking at things and looking at how it actually really did hurt at that time. I know we are in the human experience. I know it's all this illusion, and we choose to feel the pain or not, but at the same time, we can't speak like it's so easy, We're shedding a lifetime and many past lifetimes worth of paradigms of what we've been taught to be or act like or to react to pain or to difficult situations, to challenges. And what's come to me is really seeing things for what they are in a clear way of what resonates and what doesn't. In my journey, I've gone through a lot of pain with my own mother. And I've been hurt repeatedly by my own mother. And she's made choices that I've suffered for in many ways. Recently, everything came to a head with my mother. Her and my stepfather are alcoholics, and to make a long story short, my stepfather is very close to death. He's drinking so excessively, he stopped working. Everything came to a head, and it really, really tested me. I decided that I did need to try my best to help him. It was part of my journey, and how could I live with myself if I didn't at least try to help both of them, I should say. So I went in, and it really affected my energy. When I'd be around them, when I would be in their home, all the drinking, all the negativity, it literally felt like my parents were taken over by darkness. And it's become so clear just in the world that darkness, it's trying its best to take us down in any way that it can. And with me, it seemed to be happening within my own family dynamics. Going through that, it brought back a lot of painful memories. My mom sort of left the situation, and I was left to figure out everything for my stepdad, and managed to get him help, only for my mother to come back and continue with her drinking, and my stepdad to want to go leave his treatment center and go be with her and continue drinking again. My mom would call me and go back into a victim mode. And I came to a new place, even with my own parents, of letting go and going into such a deep surrender. And again, I keep thinking I've surrendered in the past, but you keep being tested to go into new and more difficult places of surrender. And when it came to my parents, I've had to really accept that this is their choice. If they want to go, then they will go. This is their journey. I have to let go and allow. And it's much like the twin flame journey in that we have to let go of our twin. As painful as it is, we love them to death. We want to save them. We want to bring them to the light, bring them to our light even. But when we keep expending our energy and trying to no avail, we're getting hurt in the process. We're depleting ourselves. So recently, my purges have really been facing that within me. It's beautiful that all of us want to help. We want to assist. And yes, we're here as light workers. We're here on a mission. But I'm definitely seeing the depths of the self-love in relation to the boundaries. There was a situation where my mom, she had left staying with my grandmother, and she was on an island, and I was supposed to pick her up at the ferry. Basically, she called and just left a message demanding it. The inner child in me wanted to be the obedient daughter and just go get her, because what else was she going to do? She'd be stranded. It would make her life more difficult. And although I was so upset with her, and I was so upset with her decisions on her path and how it's affecting all of our family and a lot of external things, I was speaking with my sister and she just said, "Why are you going to pick her up?" And it hit me really hard. And I was like, it's true. Why am I going to? And my sister said to me, you have to let her see where her decisions have taken her. You have to set boundaries. She's put herself into this mess. She has to live within that mess now. Why should we all continue being there, making it easy for them? And I'm sure many of you can maybe relate to this with family members with addictions, or even with your twin or anything like that. We keep overextending ourselves and putting ourselves in a self-sacrifice mode to give our light to others and try to assist them in their journey, when if they don't want to go towards the light, that's their choice. So I decided it was true what my sister and even a couple of others were saying, and I went into a state of anxiety. Fear came up from my childhood of, when I did what my mom told me basically as a child, or I basically went through forms of abuse if I didn't, and there were repercussions if I didn't. And going through that and realizing I'm an adult now, I am whole within, I need to do what's best for myself. And in that moment, it was not serving myself to go to my mother, who was in a dark and very angry, bitter, addicted place, and put myself in that energetic field and trigger anger. And, I just knew what it was going to turn out like if I went. So I didn't go, and it was really, really, really difficult for me. My mom left angry messages for me after, saying abusive things. And at the same time, I came into such an empowered state. I came into this realization that it is safe for me and for everyone to have boundaries. So the process has been going on with my twin, that he comes into my life like many of you, and then he exits out. He comes a little close, then he gets scared and he runs. He plans a trip to see me, then he gets scared and he runs. I'm sure he's had karmic situations along the way. And in my journey, what I needed to do recently was really look back. And I encourage you to do this. If you do have text messages and emails, whatnot, really look at it. Look at it objectively. Look at where your boundaries are being stepped on and where you are willingly allowing that. Look at where the imbalances lie. And again, read them very honestly. When I read texts with my twin and I'm proud of the open-heartedness and vulnerability that I've gotten to, and I'm just very real. But at the same time, in a similar way of how I've had to deal with my mother, I believe that's what the feminine energy is ready to do with our twins, if not already. And it's not a game. It's not to say, that's it, I've had enough, I'm done with this. I think we all know by now there's no being done with this. There's no running from this ourselves. And if you think you can, good luck to you. However, there is a way to see the situation for what it is, to honor the connection for what it teaches you. And this is a huge lesson that we need to learn. And then realize where the imbalances are and start to find that balance point. Start to own your beauty, your worth, what you bring to the connection is just as much as what they bring to the connection. So don't see it as imbalance, like they're the special ones and we're trying to win them because they're running. I see it as like what I'm doing with my mother, in that it's saying to them, okay, I let go, I surrender and accept the fact that I don't have control over this situation. I can't manipulate the situation. I can't draw them in with my words or promises or convince them. And accepting that they will come when they are good and ready, having that patience. And I know the patience is very, very, very trying. It's very, very difficult at times to accept that this has been taking a long, long time for so many of us. But also just accepting that you can leave them be and almost accept that, okay, if you like the energetic field that you are in right now, live in it, feel it, be it. I accept that then. Just like with my mother and my stepdad, I had to accept, okay, if you want to live in the darkness, live there, stay there, you be that. I'm not here to continually save you, continually bring the light, help, cleanse your energies, heal you. No more. It's actually bringing me down, if anything. So with our twins, let them sit in that. Let them be with their karmic. Don't be there for them to, for some of you, you know, I know many twin flames are in situations where their twin has a relationship and they keep being there for them sexually or emotionally and healing them. It's like dealing with a small child. If we don't have boundaries, how can you blame the child for misbehaving? How could you blame them? It's not even their fault at a certain point. If it's allowed, everyone's going to want to kind of go the easy route, you know? So I'm not saying by any means play games, cut them off, be a bitch or an ass or something like that. I'm saying to be real, be vulnerable. I'm being pushed to a place of that inner knowing of this hurts. This hurts when you ignore me. This hurts when you sometimes decide to block me. And it also hurts when you come into my life and, you know, admit our connection. Tell me, you know, you believe we are going to be together. And draw me so close only to run again. I understand why the masculine runs. I understand what they're trying to come to. But for now, I'm speaking to the feminines. And I really do get what many of the teachers keep saying is that the feminine, we always do. We want to think, oh, we know it all. We have it all together. We're so healed. We're so perfect. We have this whole thing figured out. And really, it's time to admit that we don't. We're trying to figure this out as we go along, just as much as the masculine or just as much as any other twin. And you know what? That's okay. This is hard. It's not easy. We're here in the Earth School and we're just doing our best to pass our grades, to pass our tests. And sometimes it takes you down. And sometimes energetically, you're not vibrating high. Sometimes, like I said, For me, sometimes I just cry or I just want to stay in bed all day and I just don't have the will to do very much in my life. I'm integrating, I'm healing, I'm purging, I'm releasing. And it's not always. There's other times that I'm vibrating high and, so appreciative and so full of gratitude. And to be honest with you, that's usually when I would try to make the videos on my channel here, is when I wanted to encourage everyone, come on, we can do this. Let's vibrate higher. Let's forgive our twins. Let's accept this for what it is. But I feel like I'm coming on right now during a purge time, sort of coming out of the purge a little bit. I'm not in the depths of it, but to tell you, like, you know what, guys, it's not always easy. And definitely, as always, really being guided to keep looking for your purpose. What's your gift? I know that there were times in my life that I was so caught up in what I was learning or doing that it was beautiful. I know people that almost like forget to eat sometimes. They're so immersed in learning something or they're so passionate about something. And I definitely do feel that we feminine, we're being pushed to get to that with something. And I know it's sometimes so frustrating. Like, what is my purpose? What am I meant to do? For me, sometimes it's overwhelming because I feel pulled in so many different directions. And I know I have to really focus on one. So going inwards and taking that time for yourself. And as I've always said, not feeling guilty for being restful at times. Life doesn't have to be so chaotic. So go, go, go. Sometimes we need this time to integrate, time to rest, time to collect all the pieces of ourselves that have sort of broken or fallen apart, rebuild, and keep climbing up that ladder again. We're definitely in the Ascension process. And I've been watching more videos just on that process in itself. I've been very drawn to Dolores Canon lately. And if you haven't looked into her, I found her to be a wealth of knowledge based on all her healings. Reading books and just getting ready for these shifts. We have some really big ones coming up. And I did want to share that in my own readings for myself and in the readings I've done for clients, I keep getting drawn to December of 2017 as a big shift point, a big culmination point. So I know we have the 11/11 portal, the 10/10. It really kicked my butt. So I know I'm getting ready for something big, as I'm sure many of you are. And I've spoken with a lot of my, twin flame friends, clients. A lot of people are feeling what I'm feeling right now. It feels like some sort of a breaking point. And like light bulbs really going off. And then we go into the 11/11. Then we will have the 12/12 and finally the 12/21. I'm definitely feeling these are going to be strong, energetic shift points. In my visions, I have seen a lot of communication coming forth during the month of December between twins. And I see it, though, as allowing the masculine at this time their space, honoring their journey as well. Just like with my mother, again, it really taught me something. My mom, she's on her own life journey. Just because I'm her daughter, I have no control over her journey. She wants to be an alcoholic in this life. That's her journey. And through listening to Dolores Canon, it's like we're here to learn. And if she doesn't learn, it's not my problem. I don't need to take that on. She will karmically face what she needs to face. and she can come back and repeat that in another lifetime if needed, or something could come up within this lifetime, but it's her journey. And just like with my twin, I can't interfere, I can't shift it. All we can do is hold in our heart and manifest the best possible outcomes for all involved. And lately, instead of focusing so much on manifesting the twin flame union or a union of love, I'm really coming into manifesting, okay, universe, what is my purpose? Really guiding me towards it more and more. I've been guided to write a book, and that's been difficult. I started writing a book, and it was just my own life story of growing up with a very difficult, mentally ill and addictive mother. And I kind of thought, oh, scrap that. No one's going to want to listen to that. That's so negative. So I left it for a while, and then I went back to the computer months later and said, okay, Spirit, I'm open. What should I write? And I sat there and literally almost typed out the exact same stuff I had typed the first time. So I feel that in my journey, it's important for me to be very transparent, very real, maybe to give others something to relate to. You know, I know none of us had a perfect upbringing, and it's given us the situations to work through, and that's important on this journey. So somehow that's my journey, and it's still kind of coming into fruition, I would say, to figure out the exact path of what Spirit wants me to do with that. So I hope that all of you are taking good care of yourselves, as always. I'm always here for sessions. I use cards, I use a pendulum, and I also get intuitive guidance. I'm also inclined for some clients to do an intuitive healing for them. And I just want to thank any of my clients that I have worked with. It's been such an amazing journey, and any way that I can help anyone in any way, I know that is part of my purpose, and I'm honored to do so. I hope all of you are well. If you have any questions or comments, please email me. I'll put my email in the description box. And I hope all of you are staying strong on this journey, but at the same time, being vulnerable and real, and knowing that it's okay to need help. It's okay to need assistance. Sometimes we do require to be on the receiving end, and as feminine, that's what we're coming into, truly being able to be on the receiving end. Thank you so much blessings and love to all of you. Hi everyone.